Hey y'all, welcome back to another day in our live series, Becoming She Who Handles Business. My name is Shamandri and I'm a business growth strategist, the founder of She Handles Business, the community, the podcast, all of the things. We are a global organization of women entrepreneurs that are building legacy businesses. It's a collaborative space where we get to come together to support each other, to empower each other, to train, to learn, to develop, and to build as we continue to build these legacy businesses that God has placed on the inside of us. So I'm super excited to be doing this challenge. As y'all know, that this is my birthday month. So all month I am showing up live Monday through Friday at 11:30 a.m. so that I can pour into you and give back and talk about what it takes to become, to evolve, to grow into this woman that I consider she who handles business. This is a woman of God. This is a woman who is building her business. This is a woman who is building her business in a way that it will make room for her, that it will allow her to be profitable, to bring in the income that she desires and that she deserves, to be able to have abundance in time, abundance in peace, abundance in joy, abundance in freedom, to be able to do and live life the way that she desires to live because of the way that she is executing business, because of the way that she is showing up in life, because of the way that she is showing up to do the things that God has called her to do in this season. So if you are joining me live or if you're joining me on the replay, be sure to drop hashtag live, hashtag replay. Let me know that you're here watching so that I can be able to say hello to you. I love to be able to do that. And if you guys have any questions or anything that you want to talk about or anything that's coming up while I am sharing, be sure to drop them because I would love to have additional communication. Of course, the link for our community, which is an amazing collaborative space of women entrepreneurs, is in the comments. So be sure to click on that link so that you can learn more about our community. And let's go ahead and jump in. So today I wanted to talk about becoming she who handles business. And the attribute that I wanted to stress today is she has structure. Okay. So structure is extremely important, y'all, because we are, as women, navigating through life, managing so many demands. We have the demands from our children. We have the demands from our relationships, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a fiance, whether it's a husband, whether it's a boyfriend, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you. We have the demands for ourselves. We have to be able to care for ourselves and take care of ourselves, make sure we're pouring into ourselves so that we're not running on empty. We have the demands of our jobs, of our businesses, the things that we have to do to bring in income. We have demands of our community. So whether it's your church or, whatever, we have so many things that are consistently pulling on us all the time as women. And so structure is extremely important because if you are consistently being pulled on and consistently have so many responsibilities, so many tasks, so many things that you have to execute within a day, it's easy to get in a space where you're depleted. It's easy to get in a space where you feel like everybody needs things from me and I don't have the capacity to be able to do it all. I don't have the capacity to be able to manage all the things. I don't have the capacity to be able to take care of everything all the time. And so that's why it's extremely important to be a woman of structure, right? God is a God of order. And the reason that he is a God of order is because that's how things flow and that's how things fluctuate. Whatever. It's how things flow efficiently and effectively when we have structure, when we have order. And so she who handles business, there's two specific places that we have to have structure. We have to have structure in our lives. We have to have structure in our business. What does that look like to have structure in your life? One, it means that you have boundaries. Because you are a woman that has a business or working a 9-to-5, and you are a woman that has to take care of your home and your life and your kids and your family and your friends and yourself and all of that stuff, we have to have structure in our lives. And so when I say that we have to have boundaries, that means that you have to be able to be in a space where you can be clear on this is the boundaries that I need to set, whether it be with friends, whether it be with family members, whether it be with your businesses and things like that. I have to set boundaries that allow me to protect myself, that allow me to be able to protect my mind, that allows me to be able to protect my time, that allow me to be able to protect my mental capacity, what I need to do for me. We have to set boundaries. Good morning, Nikita. How are you? Boundaries are super, super important because honestly, it's the foundation for them all. All the other things that I'm going to share with you that we need to have. If you don't have boundaries to help and support and enforce those things, then you're not going to be able to fluctuate and manage those things, right? We have to be able to have structure when it comes to our time. Are you efficient with managing your time? Are you setting expectations and intention around how you're navigating your time throughout the day, right? Because if I want to say, okay, look, I know how, for me personally, I have to homeschool my children in the mornings. I have 2 kids that are running around this house at all times, whether I'm doing business or whether I'm doing personal things. There are 2 kids in this house, right? And so I have to make sure that I have time to pour into them when it comes to their learning. I have to make sure I have time to be able to take care of my home so that it is not a complete wreck all the time. Some of the time it is, but not all the time, right? I have to make sure that I have time to intentionally do my business and to pour into my business and execute the tasks that I have within my business. I have to make sure that I have time for God, to be able to just sit in his presence and get clarity. I have to have time to spend time with my fiance. Hey, Shavon, welcome. Have to make sure I have time to spend with him and cater to him. I have to cook. I have to, so many things that I have, and I have to have time for myself. And so if I'm not intentional about how I am planning my time and how I am spending my time, then things are going to run away from me. And I'm always going to feel depleted at the end of the day because I'm not taking time to get everything that I need. Good morning. Hey, Nini. Hi, Dr. Deborah. Good morning. I'm not taking enough time to be intentional, pour into myself, be intentional, and allocate certain spaces for things to get done. I don't know about you. A lot of people say that they're great at multitasking. I'm not that person. I have learned that I am so much more effective and efficient when I am able to delegate a certain amount of time and place all of my focus in that area. Now, granted, there are multiple times that I have to be doing multiple things, and I use that in a specific way in my life and business. But when I really need to get a task done, I'm not multitasking. I'm not trying to teach my kids on the side and trying to manage my business and sending emails. Why? Because something is going to be weighed out. Something is not going to get the amount of attention that it needs because I'm trying to do too many things at once, right? I'm not trying to make the calls and the appointments and the things that I need to do for the house while I am trying to do a training and learn something for my business. Thank you for the star, Shavon. I'm not trying to do those things at the same time, right? I'm intentional about my day and how I'm allocating time for certain things within my business so that I can be able to efficiently give it the attention that it needs. That goes to structure with my time, creating boundaries to say, okay, I am going to be focused on my kids during this time from 9 a.m. to 11:30, most of the time 12, but definitely from 9 a.m. to 11:30, my kids have my attention when it comes to school. Before then, they get up at between 8 and 8:30. Before then, they have my attention. Before 8 a.m., I have my own attention. I'm able to plan my day out. I'm able to spend time with God. I'm able to decompress and just enjoy the peace and quiet in the home, to set my intentions for our home, to set the atmosphere to take care of myself and my body and things like that before my children get up. But I am very intentional about what those times look like, and I'm setting those boundaries around those times. When my kids wake up early in the morning, and they've gotten up before 8 o'clock or 8:30, I let them know, hey, y'all, yeah, y'all are in here, but this is mommy's time. So if y'all are going to come in here, y'all are going to be quiet, and I'm going to enjoy my time until it's time for me to spend and invest in you all, right? And so we have to have structure with our time. We have to have boundaries to protect that time. Another place that we have to have structure within our life is with efficiently planning in advance for things, right? And this is something that I am still working on all the time. I'm still working on it. But if I want to be efficient with my life and with my business, I have to be aware of the things that I know are going to happen, right? At the beginning of the month, I don't want to be checking my schedule the day of, and it's like, oh shoot, I forgot I even had this today, or I forgot that I was doing this month, or it's my birthday month now. All of a sudden on the day of my birthday, I want to figure out how I want to show up online, or I need to revamp my business schedule because there were things that were happening in my personal schedule that I wasn't paying attention to before the month started. We have to plan in advance, and that's in life and in business, in order for us to be effective and efficient, right? So what does that look like? That looks like me checking my schedule at the beginning of the month and saying, okay, or before the month even comes in, and saying, okay, this is what March looks like for me personally. This is what March looks like for me on the business side. I need to make sure that I am aware of the things that are happening so that I can plan accordingly, so that I can be able to say, oh, this is something that I really want to make sure that I can highlight. I can take advantage of this particular thing that's happening, and it can be an asset to my business. See, for March, I've used March as an asset for my business, even though it's my birthday month. And how was I able to do that? I was able to do that because I planned ahead. I took the time to plan ahead. When it comes to your children, if your children has certain games, or they have activities, they have different things that they are using throughout the doing throughout the month, we want to be aware of those things. We don't have to be in a space where we feel like I have to choose business over my children. You know, like I spent so much time when my son was little, when I was in my 9-to-5, and I was just missing out on so many things that he was doing, and so many things that I wanted to allow him to do, and I couldn't because the way that my life was structured wouldn't allow me to do that, right? And so even when it comes to now, you know, there are days where I feel like, oh, I got so much happening in my business, and I'm like, I don't want to say I want to throw my kids on the back burner, but it feels like I need to throw my kids on the back burner. And I have to be intentional. I have to plan ahead and say, okay, this is a season where I have to focus heavily on my business. So what does it look like in this season for me to effectively show up for my children in a way that they don't feel neglected? Show up for my fiance in a way that allows him to not feel like, he's not getting what he needs from me, right? How am I able to still navigate this season where business is heavy and it needs my demands in a way that I can still balance? And I know a lot of people always say, you know, I don't want to do balance. I want to do harmony. I don't say that. Yes, I want harmony between my life and my business, but balance is still important to me. And here's why. Harmony is a state of being. Right? It means that I have harmony. I am stable between those two spaces, life and business, right? But balance is a skill. Balance is something that you do, right? If we look at a scale, a balancing scale, what is its job? As I put pressure on this side, I am able to see how this side needs to adjust so that they are in balance, right? I want to be in balance. And so as my business gets heavy, I need to know and be aware of that so that I can adjust, so that I can give my family what they need in this season. as my family situations and environments and things like that get heavy, right? Paying attention to my kids when they need more of me, paying attention to my spouse when he needs more of me, paying attention to myself when I need more of me, paying attention when God needs more of my time and he needs more of my commitment. Being able to balance, it doesn't mean that I'm trying to figure out how to make everything equal and to serve everybody at the same capacity, but it's helping me to understand where the need is and how I can adjust according to how I need to have stability, right? And how my kids, because it will never be equal. It will never be equal. However, I have to pay attention to where they are. And that's something that I pray on all the time. Holy Spirit, help me to hear the heart of my children. Help me to hear the heart of my fiance. Help me to make sure I hear the heart of God so that I can know the spaces that I need to adjust, right? When there are certain things in my business, I need to make sure that I hear God so that he's like, hey, you need to pay attention, a little bit more attention in this area. I want to be able to do that, right? But yeah, so that's what structure looks like when it comes to your life. Making sure that you are setting boundaries, making sure that you are effectively managing your time, and making sure that you are implementing planning so that you can be aware of things before they happen. Now, on the business side of things, it's very similar too. When I say that we have to have boundaries around business, come on, it is so easy for someone to take advantage of you and your business to what they call it, scope creep. I've dealt with that so much in business when I was really in the heat of the operation side of my business. That's what is scope creep. That's when you have a client, they come on and you explain what you want to do, but you're not explaining it in a way that is concrete, and we have boundaries around what that looks like. And then so this person comes in and they're like, oh, okay, you're going to do this broad thing. And as you start to do that job, they're like, oh, and this, and do this, and do this, and do this. This is a part of that too, right? Oh, well, can you do this? And before you know it, the thing that you have set for a $3,000 package has turned into $10,000 worth of work, right? Because this person has been able to stretch that out because you didn't have boundaries. You didn't have boundaries around what that package looked like. You didn't have boundaries around what your time looks like. We have to have boundaries around our time. We have to. We have to have boundaries around the way we want to communicate with clients. We have to have boundaries around the times that they can communicate with us and when we're going to communicate with them. We have to have boundaries around all those different things. And so boundaries in business is extremely important because it allows you to be able to protect yourself. It allows you to be able to protect your sanity. What else in structure with business? Structure, what other structure attributes do we have to have when it comes to business? Is your price. Sticking to the price. If you set a price, the price is the price. Because here's the thing that you have to know and understand. When you start varying your price for various people, you're not helping them, you're hurting yourself. And we think sometimes that, oh, you know, if I give this person this discount and I, knock the price off here, I'm, doing them a favor and I'm helping them out. But sometimes you're not. You're not, because you're, one, creating lack within your own business, right? Because if you had planned your pricing according to the needs and the desires that you have for your business and your goals, there's no room to be fluctuating unless it's intentional. Anytime you see me drop a price on something within my business, it's because it's very intentional, right? Right now, our community is 50% off. Why? Because I love to give. And for my birthday, I want to give that away. However, I'm very intentional about that price drop. I know where I will not drop below. Before I even release a product or service on anything, I know what my boundary is when it comes to my pricing. I know that at this point in time, I'm going to sell it at this point. And any time that I want to offer some type of deal or some type of sale or some type of, if I'm doing some type of marketing strategy, I'm very clear on what that looks like. And I'm very clear on if someone comes into my space, when I'm able to be flexible with that and when I'm not. Okay, so that's another place that we have to have structure in our business. Other places that we have to have structure is around our processes. What your process looks like, how you're executing things on a day-to-day basis. See, some of us are completely stressed out in our business because every single time a new client comes in the door, we are freewheeling how we execute our process. Every single time someone comes in, we're just doing it according to however it flows. No, you have to have a specific process on how you do things. When you have a specific process on how you do things, you're able to show up so much more efficiently. What do I mean by that? If I have a standard way that I bring people onto my podcast and I do it the same way every single time, one, I don't have to worry about forgetting steps. I don't have to worry about dropping the ball on certain things or certain deadlines. I don't have to worry about them not being aware of certain pieces of communication or things that they need to know to prepare. I can make sure that those things are already done because they are a part of my standard process. But also because I have a standard process, I am not in a space of trying to rush and do things during the process, and it opens my mind up to see gaps. Oh, so for some reason you're not or my process is not communicating that, and this is something that just came up recently for me. My process is not communicating that our meetings are in Eastern Standard Time. That's a gap. Let me figure out how I can make sure that the people who are in Central Standard Time are aware, because evidently there's a gap there, right? But you can't see gaps when you are trying to free wind every single time a new person comes into your business. And so that's another place that we add structure. You have to have structure within your business. And so I don't want to go super long. There's so many different ways that we can implement structure in our lives and in our business as we are evolving into this woman who is handling business. We will always be evolving into her. Why? Because as you grow, as your business grows, as your children grow, as you develop in certain things, you will always have a new space of development that God is showing you and saying, hey, this is how you evolve in this area. It is a journey. It is a journey. We will never fully reach, perfection, but we will always be growing and developing and handling everything that God has given us within our business. And I believe that he gives us grace to do it all. So I thank you all for joining me today on this live series. Continue to rock with me throughout the month. My birthday month, we're celebrating together by continuing to just dive deeper into becoming She Who Handles Business. So join me again tomorrow at 11:30, Monday through Friday. If you are not a part of the She Handles Business community, go get plugged in. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you for tuning in. Go get plugged into our community because it is an amazing space, collaborative space for Christian women in business. We support each other. We collaborate with each other. We do business together. We're able to mastermind together. We have training. We have challenges. We have prayer. Come on, so many different things that are happening in our community. So make sure you click on the link so that you can get plugged in to the different events that we have. And if you want to be a member, definitely join so that you can be plugged into our training, our coaching, our hot seats, and our private events that happen only for our members. So I love you all, and I pray that you have an absolutely amazing day, and I will catch you tomorrow at 11:30. Talk to you soon. Bye.